I've literally been working 12 to 15-hour days. Probably yesterday I worked 20 hours or something insane like that. And probably more so like 18 hours. But whoa, like I really didn't expect. I was almost tripping. Like when I drew up all that energy that kind of has been just lying around here for the last 2 months. Hello. It is 2 a.m. at night and I am dancing in my bathroom with a shirt on. I just wrapped up my workday and I've been working 24/7 in this room. Yeah, so like I really didn't expect that I could work so much. Like I have no idea what happened, but I also kind of have guesses how this is possible. Like sleeping 6 hours a day and just meditating for an hour or two and then just working. Like literally working nonstop. I've not been working out really, maybe just very irregularly and just a little bit. And then food, I get like meal prep. And you can see the trash from it right here. Fresh foods, that's so good. Oh my gosh. My entire fridge is full of like healthy meal delivery. And you get that in like these packages. And one as a freezer. And then there's also an option where they deliver you it in these boxes, which is really sustainable because they pick them up again. And yeah, that means I sometimes even don't have time to eat that, but I just have to throw it in the pan and it's done, or cook it. But it's already like spices, everything. It's like the perfect solution for an ambitious entrepreneur like myself. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know where the energy is coming from, but I also have guesses. It's emotional healing and Kundalini, which sounds so out there. I totally understand, but it's just fascinating. Like I used to get burned out or overworked when I was actually putting in deep work hours for 7 to 8 hours per day for 5 days a week. Now usually I start at around 11 a.m. to maybe noon or 1 p.m. and then I just work until midnight. But usually I never stop at midnight. Usually it goes until 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Yesterday I worked until 6 a.m. And the thing that I noticed internally that has changed, other than just building up to that over the last couple of years, because I never used to be able to do that, it was a quite interesting change. I have a separate working station that definitely helps to be focused, but it doesn't help to not burn out. I think what has changed now is that I don't resist the work anymore. It doesn't feel like there's too much effort going on. I can just do it, right? There's no effort, not too much effort involved. And I think that's because of the emotional healing. I think there's still so much more to go, right? Don't get me wrong. But I feel like a lot of things have been processed lately, which enable me to just focus. And then actually one more thing that has been crucially important is not just emotional healing, but the other reason why I don't just resist working 24/7 is because I have no more fear of missing out. I'm almost 100% in harmony that this is what I want to do right now, or this is strategically what makes sense, or this is my purpose, or I've decided to do this. The only conflict is that I would love to do this more. Like I love recording videos, I love YouTube, I love sharing my joy and wisdom to inspire us to actualize our highest human potential. You can see I'm a little bit hyperactive, and this probably has to do that I'm haven't slept enough. Yes, I can't speak English anymore. And it probably has to do with Kundalini a little bit, but I'll get to that in a second. So why do I have no more FOMO? And I used to have so much FOMO. I used to have so much fear of missing out. And the reason why is because I spent mid-January to mid-May living it up in Asia. I've basically worked probably only 15 hours per week, right? And I just lived my life. I basically was fortunate to receive everything I ever wanted, and I realized that it brought up a lot of stuff. It was so healing. funnily enough, I felt like there were other periods of my life where I was almost as happy or sometimes even happier, even though the external circumstances were in paradise, like literally fucking paradise. So that's one part. But when I came back, actually in Bali was 1 week where I was alone, also had like a dedicated office, and there I also worked like 10-hour days, and then I almost burnt out, right? Or almost overworked myself after that week. I don't think you can call that burnout. And that was an interesting experience. So what has changed since then? Because there I also didn't have any FOMO anymore, right? I actually wanted to do a work retreat, right? For monk mode for 3 weeks. And I think that's the emotional healing. So after FOMO came the emotional healing, which I've done with Detlef from Feel and Heal Yourself. I haven't read the book yet, but what he taught me, or the sessions I've had with him, where it's life-changing. Honestly, it's an entirely new dimension, and I'll talk more about that in another video. But so far I've always done intellectual development, things with the mind and practical execution, but I've never developed in feeling, right? And I've done shadow work before, or I've learned about it, but I've never went so directly to the root of it all, which is so brilliant. So that's that. And I think because now I've really felt like releasing all the pain and the negative emotion with this work, and just talking about it, I can feel the pain coming up in my throat, which is interesting because the same thing happens when you talk about Kundalini, just in a pleasurable way. So I think that helped release a lot of resistances. So now I can just go with the flow, have less expectations. And then the last thing is Kundalini. And I think now it's really starting to hit what incredible power Kundalini truly has. Like recently, and I've been on NoFap or semen retention for more than 2 months now, talking about fear of missing out, right? There's just no more need for it. And for the first time, my appreciation for what it gives me is greater than the small pleasure ejaculation provides. And I know this sounds gross, excuse me if you are like someone who doesn't know anything about this listening to this, but it's actually really good science. Let me actually get a book. 1 second. I mean, it's not like a science, but there's a book about it. So you don't think that I'm like a crazy, whatever, certified health nut.
It's about finding your center in the face of chaos.
Yeah, just that now I just wanted to recenter, be alone, integrate. And semen retention, I noticed, I didn't notice too many benefits with it. I did definitely notice like pleasure on my front channel, but then I did Kriya Yoga for the first time. And holy fucking shit, like shit. I was almost tripping. Like when I drew up all that energy that kind of has been just lying around here for the last 2 months when I was doing semen retention, was now channeled up my spine thanks to the pranayama breathing technique I did from the Kriya Yoga book, which I can show you in another video. And I was tripping. Like, I've done this exercise so many times in the past, but it was never so intense. And it literally gave me an energy and bliss boost for the entire day. Like the entire day when I was sitting and tuning into the Kundalini, into the surrender, it felt like I was having an orgasm. Of course, my ego's tripping on that. You have to be careful with Kundalini. It can definitely boost the ego also, but I was getting so much energy from that. And now, like sometimes I'm seeing like lights, I'm seeing more lights like floating around like stars. Not like you hit your head, but kind of similar to that. And yeah, she's giving me a lot of energy and I'm in a really good mood. And I've done it sometimes in the morning, but yeah, I try to do a little bit more breath work, but all of these things don't matter too much. So that's a quick experience report of what's going on. I'm going to brush my teeth now. Good night. Much love.